Greetings and welcome back to Room 303 AP English and our Roberts text. We are in the section on poetics. I'm with you on 681. This is Robert Graves' The Naked and the Nude. Now we are in chapter 12, and chapter 12 of Roberts is focusing on the issues of words, especially the ways in which words are selected in texts and then become really important. Here we're going to be playing around with the idea of language and words as well. Now, let's get some biography out of the way here. Robert Graves, 1895 to 1985, British poet, historical novelist, as well as critic and classicist, brilliant classicist. Loved Irish poetry and mythology, and produced over 150 different works. Quite a remarkable mind. Let's go ahead now, and we're going to see some of the influence of that mythology in this very text. The Naked and the Nude, a 1957 offering. For me, he says, for me, the naked and the nude by lexicographers construed as synonyms that should express the same deficiency of dress or shelter, stand as wide apart as love from lies or truth from art. Lovers without reproach will gaze on bodies naked and ablaze. The Hippocratic eye will see in nakedness anatomy. And naked shines the goddess when she mounts her lion among men. The nude are bold, the nude are sly, to hold each treasonable eye. While draping by a showman's trick their dishabille in rhetoric, they grin a mock religious grin of scorn at those of naked skin. The naked, therefore, who compete against the nude may know defeat. Yet when they both together tread the binary pastures of the dead, by Gorgons with long whips pursued, how naked go the sometime nude. A couple of quick observations. Notice just rhyme scheme at level 2B. Notice the first line nude, second line last word construed. Then notice express, dress, apart, art. So notice this kind of formulation, obviously very intentional in our rhyming. Also notice that the poem ends with an exclamation point, as if the poet or the speaker is trying to make some kind of ultimate observation. I like how Roberts treats this poem on 681. So I just want to share a little bit of his prose. This poem, he says, explores the connotated distinctions between the title words naked and nude, which share a common denotation. The title also suggests that the poem is about human customs. For if the speaker were considering the words alone, he would say naked and nude instead of the naked and the nude. The speaker's use of "the" signifies a double focus on both language and human perspectives. In the first 5 lines, the poem establishes that the two key words should be synonyms that should express the same deficiency of dress, lines 3-4. By introducing elevated and complex words such as lexicographers and construed, however, Graves implies that the connotation between the naked and the nude is sophisticated and artificial. In the rest of the poem, Graves goes on to develop this distinction, linking the word naked to virtues of love, truth, innocence, honesty, while connecting nude to artifice, hypocrisy, and deceit. At the end, he visualizes a classical underworld in which all pretentiousness will disappear. The nude will lose their sophistication and become merged with the naked. The implication is that artifice will vanish in the face of eternal reality. A thorough study of the words in the poem bears out the consistency of Graves' idea, not only about the 2 words in the title, but also about the accumulated layers of history, usage, philosophy that weigh upon human life and thought. Well, I think this is a brilliant observation. Let's jump to 2A really quickly for major messages here. Obviously, one of those is that artifice, the unreal, will ultimately vanish once one understands reality, these distinctions. Of course, at 2B, word choice here matters, as well as the powerful metaphors that are playing games but I want to comment as well on the rhyme scheme that, as we pointed out, is a part of this as well. At 3A, how can we relate this to another title? Think about our LearnStrong.net poem that's so important to us in 303, Burns is to a Louse, and that idea that sometimes people are not all that they appear to be, and the very notion that you can somehow fool people. And what would it mean to be able to see oneself through the eyes of another? All of this, I think, bears easily resemblance to the naked and the nude. Finally, what was a time, just to borrow from this notion, what was a time that you faked like you were someone or something else that you were not? And how did that work out for you in terms of the distinction between the naked and the nude? And a final question, do you think we need both in the societies in which we kind of live and move? Do we need artifice as well as authenticity? Are there times when, in fact, it's better to be nude than naked? What are your thoughts on that? Well, I hope that this will lead you to want to read more of Graves' great work. Thank you.